Welcome back to the channel, Mixed Mobile Gaming. I'm Dan. I really hope you liked that new intro music. I definitely did. We're back on Clash, as I said. This has been a requested one. We are going to do a troop/laboratory guide on what you should upgrade, what order you should do your upgrades in. So, let Unfortunately, we don't have any on-screen visuals yet. We haven't quite figured that out, but we'll go through each troop and talk about what its strong points, what its weak points are. We'll rate the troops. Either an S tier troop, just absolutely amazing. A tier, very good. B, it's good. C tier, not very good, not very effective. And then we just stuff that's not even worth using. So let's get started. And before that, I'd like to just point out our miners have finished upgrading. They literally finished 5 minutes before I started recording. And we also now have enough dark elixir to put down our queen. Well, almost. We might get to do that tomorrow. We'll see. But anyway, let's get this started by opening up our lab. There's a lot of troops in here, and I won't be taking into account levels of troops that I have. Like, I might have only level 1 Valkyries. I'm going to rate them on how good, personally, I think they are. Just to point out, this could get a little bit controversial. Let me know in the comments if this order you feel like is correct. But without further ado, let's get this started. So jumping into our first troop, the Barbarians. Now, not a whole pile to say on Barbarians, but they're the first troop you unlock when you start the game. They're a great starter troop, even up in the higher town halls. 8, 9, you'd see players farming using Birch because it's a cheap farming strategy. But outside of farming, there's not a lot of use for barbs. Where would I put them on the ratings? I'm not actually sure. Keep in mind, this video is very unscripted. I'm going to maybe put Barbarians at a C tier because they're not horrible. They have their uses, but outside of that, they're only okay. Moving on, Archers. Second troop you unlock in the game. I feel they have less hit points, but I feel they have a lot more use. You can use these in a way like you'd use wizards, where you put them behind a tanky troop, they take up less housing space, so they are a little bit more versatile than barbarians. So I'd rate these a B tier, because as well, archers are with the archer queen, so if you upgrade the archers, you're getting more benefit out of the queen. So I'm going to make archers a B tier troop. Moving on. Giants. Oh, what to say about these guys? This is going to get very controversial because from the people I've asked on Discord what they thought of giants, it was very mixed. Some people like them, but others don't. I mean, giants are good at doing what they were intended to do. Kind of a tanky troop that will absorb damage. Overall, though, I'm going to put them at a B tier just because when you get higher up in the game, there are some better options. Like you have the golems, the ice golems, even the Pekkas as tanks. But they are useful in the Goblin Knife strategy. For again, another farming strategy, like we said with the Barbarians and Archers. And there's always a lack of loot in this game. So, solid B tier, but no higher. Moving on to Wall Breakers. Oh, Wall Breakers. I'm going to say straight out, you might be saying I'm crazy, but these are not as good as you think they are. Because when you get up to like Town Hall 10, Town Hall 11, you'll be able to get some siege machines from clan castle troops. Or from clanmates, sorry. And if you use a wall wrecker, it kind of removes the need for the wall breakers. Yes, they're very good at lower town halls, but in the current space in the game that I am, at Town Hall 10, you wouldn't see too many people using them. So I'm going to make them a C tier troop. I was thinking about making them lower, but they have their uses. They're a good alternative if you can't get a siege machine like a wall wrecker, but otherwise, they're a C tier. Going on to balloons right now. I can't open the stats section on the balloons because I've maxed them out for Town Hall 10. But balloons, where to start with them? They're part of one of the most popular strategies here at Town Hall 10. They're used at Town Hall 9. There's a lot of Town Hall 11s, 12s using balloons. Even in a mixture with dragons, balloons are really solid, especially when you get to Town Hall 10. They get a nice boost in damage. Overall, they're really good. Now, I have had, let's just say, mixed success with balloons. They're not my favorite to use, but overall, I'm going to give them an A tier. Some people might think balloons deserve an S tier, but this is just off of my experiences playing with these troops. So balloons are an A tier. Because the reason I give them an A is because you need to be really good to use them effectively. Okay, from that we go on to wizards. Now, wizards, I'm gonna say straight up, they're going to be a B tier because they're not OP. But you see wizards in nearly every attack. It's either going to be wizards or minions or a couple of skeletons or something just for cleanup. Having them behind your tankier troops like I referenced earlier with the giants can be a really good strategy. Like if you put a bunch of wizards behind a golem, that golem will soak up the damage while your wizards pick off the buildings to create a funnel for maybe your queen to go through or something. So overall, they're a versatile troop. You can use them in different ways, but yeah, they're pretty solid. I'd use them a lot with Pekkas. That seems to work for me. Okay, on to the next one. Let's just start as this is going to be our first S tier troop. Healers, no doubt about it. Healers are amazing. Just saying, healers are really effective. Queen charge, queen walk. I've even seen people recently experimenting with putting healers on a headhunter or putting healers on a king. Like, they're just really effective in keeping your attack going if you just need that little bit more power to be able to get through a base. The only thing you have to watch out for as healers is with the air defenses. If you can keep the healers away from the air defenses, they are OP. So they're a solid S tier from me. Okay, dragons. Where do I rate them? Yeah, dragon spam is really powerful. Now, for me, they might be an S tier, but overall, they aren't as powerful when the Electro Dragon gets unlocked. So I'm going to say an A tier. It's going to be an A tier for dragons because they're really good. Now, you could look at this either way. I'm going to make them an S tier right now just because of the strategy. If you use the Dragon Zap strategy, why can't I make it S? Because they're OP. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you know how much I talked about how OP dragons are. We need to move on. S tier for dragons. Okay, Pekkas. Pekkas now are one of my favorite troops for farming currently. Because I've just maxed out my miners, it might change, but Pekkas are an S tier for me because they're really good at doing. They're really solid at absorbing damage, dealing out high damage, absorbing a lot of damage, tanking for troops, getting through walls. There's so many ways you can use Pekkas. Even if there's one or two in your attack, use them for funneling. Really good troop. S tier. Moving on. Baby dragons. Baby dragons. Now, baby dragons are more of a farming strategy. You wouldn't see them in war too often, but baby dragons are a pretty good farming strategy. Yes, you won't have the attacking powers you would with other troops, but great for picking off that outside loot or even as part of a bigger attack as a funnel or as cleanup. So, in the regard of if you'd need to max these to progress in the game, I'd say definitely. So I'm going to give them an A tier. No, I'm going to give dragons a B. I'm going to give the baby dragons a B tier. Okay, it's going to be B for baby dragons. As much as I like to to give out high ranks way too easily, it's going to be B tier for baby dragons. Moving on. Miners are next. I'm going to give miners A tier because the few times I've used them, you can, when you're farming, you can sneak a bit of loot really sneakily with miners. People put miners inside of siege machines and send them at the town hall. Sometimes. But then people do that with Valkyries or balloons. A lot of stuff gets put inside siege machines, so just take that back. So they're going to be a B tier for me. Just because they're great for farming, but I don't see them being very helpful in wars and stuff like that. Now, the next two troops I have not unlocked and played with yet, but I will just be rating them off of what I've seen people use them with. Electro Dragons clearly are going to get an S. If you thought I was going to say anything else, you're totally wrong. Electro Dragons are getting an S tier for obvious reasons. They're just overpowered. They wipe bases. Zap Electros is so strong now, especially Town Hall 11. I mean, that's meta. Has to get an S tier. Okay, and my recording got a little bit messed up right there, so there had to be a couple of edits made. So, okay, my recording is keep freezing. So, last troop we're going to review right here is going to be the Yeti. Now, these things, there's such thing as the Yeti smash attack. I think, I don't really think they're average. I don't think they're anything special. I don't think they really have a purpose. Like baby dragons and miners, they're farming troops. You have the wall breakers, which is to break through walls. Wizards to fall in behind a tank. All the other troops, minus the barbarians, have had a real purpose to them. The Yeti, I can't think of what the real purpose for the Yeti is. I don't think it's that good, or it was really hyped when it came out, don't get me wrong, but I'm going to rate the Yeti a C tier. Okay, now someone has just mentioned it to me beside me who's helping with me with this video. I've missed goblins, even though I have discussed Goblin Knife when I discussed the giants. Let's talk about goblins. Personally, if there's like 5 or 6 housing space left for an army, I'll throw in a couple of goblins. It's either going to be goblins or archers for those kind of cleanup troops. And most of the time, I'm going to choose goblins because at the end of the day, it's the loot we're after, and goblins will get that loot a little bit faster. Though I wouldn't recommend a mass goblin attack because they're just mix in some other troops, maybe some wizards, some Pekkas, and some goblins, say. That could be a decent farming strategy. Pick some spells. Goblins, going to be... It hurts to put them at this tier, but they're going to be a C tier for me because they grab loot, but that's all they really do. Moving on, we're going on to spells. Now this is the part I'm looking forward to. We need to whiz through these as I am going to run out of recording space. We'll start with the lightning spell. As you see, I have it maxed out. So, lightning spell, overpowered, just ridiculous. Works amazingly with Electro Dragons, balloons. You could even do Alalo with zaps, but it's kind of uncommon. But you could try it. Zap spells are going S tier. S tier for the zap spells. Heal spells. Where to go with these? Heal spells? More for ground attacks. You wouldn't use this with air attacks very much, but with ground attacks, it can be really good. Especially if you have a large group of troops together. So that's why I'm going to make this heal spell an A tier. Like, as I mentioned earlier, when I'm farming with goblins, giants, or with Pekkas and wizards, heal spells are one of the ones you're guaranteed to bring at least one. Moving on, the jump spell. Now, this one might be kind of unpopular, but I'm going to rate the jump spell a little bit lower because personally, I don't have that many uses for it because I'm in a clan, as I mentioned earlier, that I'm able to get a siege machine for my war attacks. As long as I can get that siege machine into the core of a base, that has a path opened up already. So there's no real need for jump spells unless you want to throw one in for cleanup to get into a last compartment to prevent a time fail. In that regard, I'm going to put the jump spell at a C tier. Moving on, freeze spells. It's good to be able to open the stats screen again because it's annoying how you can't open it if you've maxed, but okay. Freeze spells. Like the zap spell, you really, nearly every attack has one of these. Going to be a definite strong player, especially when you have eagle artilleries, multi-infernos, or even anything that will really put a stop to your attack. Can be used on clan castle troops, Very diverse on how you can use this. Very tactical spell. S Teir. Okay, clone spell. Haven't got to really play with this yet. It's got nerfed in the past, but it's still pretty decent. Got the hiccups right there. But anyway, the clone spell works really well. Yes, it has a limited capacity it can actually clone, even if everything is cloned is in one area. But if you got stuff on the town hall and you clone it, you're guaranteed to take it down. Say maybe get a battle blimp on the town hall, the troops come out of it, say your balloons come out of the battle blimp, clone them, and then you've pretty much taken down the town hall, even if the clan castle troops or some defense start really fast taking them down. Or really quickly taking them down, should I say. So they're going to be an A tier for me. Okay, poison spells. One job and one job only. We're going into dark elixir spells right now. Perfect for heroes or clan castle troops. Personally, I'd keep it either for the queen, but 90% of the time I'd use it on the clan castle troops. Especially when there's a lot of nasty stuff in the clan castle troops now. Like Electro Dragons. Freeze and poison. You might even drop a few spells on there to make sure you can take those clan castle troops down. Poison is going to be an A tier spell for me. I always bring at least one of these, whether it's in the clan castle or in my army. Moving on. Earthquake spells. These things, you'd see them a lot with witch attacks, because witches have a tendency to go the wrong way, and then once they're unprotected by the tankier troop, they just get taken out super easily. So, yeah, earthquake spells, you really need them only in certain attacks. Like I said with other spells, like I said with the jump spell, you don't really need this if you're able to get a siege machine. There are very few situations I feel I've had to use earthquakes instead of a siege machine. Now, don't get me wrong, they're a good option if you're in a clan that can't give siege machines, but otherwise, they're getting a C tier from me. Haste spells, A tier, Lalo, or Laloon, should I say. I said that twice wrong in this video already. Amazing spell for balloons, especially when you've got a lava hound tanking for the balloons and you put down the haste to make the balloons go that little bit faster so they don't get annihilated by the air defenses. You can get those troops to the air defense quicker, and that can be the difference between winning and losing the attack. A tier for the haste spell. Skeleton spells, now they're a B tier. Because the reason I make them a B tier, even though they don't have a whole pile of purpose, they're just a good cleanup troop. Or if you really want to be stupid and make some weird YouTube video, probably something I'll try in the future, is spam skeleton spells on the town hall and see if I can get a town hall with just skeleton spells. I'm going to make them a B tier for that reason. Otherwise, they're probably going to be lower. Minions. Oh, minions. I'm going to make these a D tier. Just because there are so many troops already to do cleanup, you don't really need minions unless you're really low on housing space. That's like the only quality I have for these things is they're 2 housing space. Means you can fit them for cleanup in any army, even if it's not an air attack. They're going to be a C tier for me, though. Hogs, really good. I like them. They work. Great for kind of hybrid attacks, kill squad attacks. Hogs are getting an A tier. Valkyries, going to be an S tier. They are amazing. Put them in a siege machine, they'll shred through a base. They are incredible. S tier for Valkyries. Golem's going to get a B tier simply because it's a really good tank, but doesn't do a whole pile else. Very low damage, slow movement speed, and high housing space. And a really high cost as well. They're going to be a B tier. Witches. Town Hall 9, they're an S tier, but they drop off really quickly in performance. They're an A tier for that reason. Second last troop. This video is getting really long. I might cut it. Lava Hounds. Essential part of the Laloon strategy. Really good for tanking for the balloons. Really, I'm happy with that. A tier. Bowlers. Oh yes. I'm going to make these things a B tier. Prior to recording, I was considering making bowlers a C tier, but I realized they have a long range, meaning when they throw their ball, it bounces and does damage to further away buildings, kind of like the Electro Dragons having a long reach. So I give bowlers a B tier. Now, I will probably do another lab guide, but that was just me tier listing everything. If I had a bit more experience, I would put a card up on the screen. I need to figure that out. But there's just one thing to do before we end this video. And that's grab the loot from in here. Put something in the lab down. Ooh, what do we want? I don't know what's left. There's not a whole pile. I'm trying to decide what do I want? Like if I start anything crazy that needs multiple upgrades, the best option for me is baby dragons. Let's put baby D's down. Let's put my queen down. And let's do something expensive with this gold. I'm just looking to see what I could put down with all of this gold now. Do I have an air defense? Sure, we'll do that. Cool, put that down. Let's just dump the rest of this gold and elixir into walls. There we go. Let's end the episode here. Thanks for watching, guys. You guys, if you like this video, smash the like button, leave a like, and leave a comment.